So when I'm hanging out with friends or at an event and people ask what I do for a living, I tell them I make videos. The next question is, well, how long have you been doing that? And quite often, I honestly forget. So I go back, I look at our videos, and I can't believe it's been 10 years since we made this video. Hi, this is Bill from CJ Pony Parts. Today we're going to be installing an igniter electronic ignition conversion from Pertronics. I've been helping out behind the scenes with some of these very basic install videos we were shooting. Then one day my boss said to me, we hired a professional videographer and my new job was going to be video host. Now I had several roles at CJ's, from sales to shop manager, but never thought my job would be on camera. Before I could even protest, we had a studio, lighting, and some guy named Layman yelling action. So when I say Layman, a lot of you guys have no idea who I'm talking about. Well, meet Layman. He's only ever been in, I think, one CJ video over the years.
I think I might have crept in two, but who knows.
But he was on the other side of the camera for hundreds, if not thousands of videos we did over the years. And we're standing right back where it started. I mean, we were in the corner of a warehouse. That's where our lift was mounted. There was a fake wall there and a fake wall there, and that was the studio. I mean, at the time, that was high tech. That was state of the art for what we were doing anyway. And now obviously things have changed even greater, but.
When we first started, it was like, what, 4 lights? We didn't even have proper studio lights. We had a light kit of 4 lights, and we manipulated to make this room look a lot bigger than it was, and
people thought it was huge.
Oh,
like they thought it was real brick, and they thought we had this massive warehouse, and meanwhile it was the corner of a warehouse is where we were shooting.
All fake? Oh, that's Hollywood.
But I mean, from there, I said that's where we got our start. We moved back to that section, which is now also gone, and then to the studio that we have now. When we started out, the goal was to at least showcase all of the parts we sell here at CJ Pony Parts, and if possible, actually show you how to install them. But the install videos took off, and we quickly became the go-to channel for detailed installation videos. Bill from CJ's here with a replacement 5-speed shift knob for... Now, we've built many project cars over the years here at CJ's, but the ones we're most proud of are definitely going to be our SEMA builds. Now, our first one, 5030, we built for TMI's display at the SEMA show, and then after that, we actually built 4 straight vehicles for the Ford display, which was a huge honor. The video team documented the entire experience and shared it with car owners all over the world. While we still do car builds and still tackle the installs, lately we have switched gears and done more resource videos for Mustang owners and more lifestyle videos showcasing the best and sometimes the worst from the Mustang community.
Were you supposed to be in Las Vegas?
We were, it wasn't that far away. We had a fast car, it took us 2 hours.
And again, you didn't know how to weld before you did this either?
I had never welded before.
It came out of South Carolina via Ontario, Canada. So I actually had to re-import that car back in the United States.
So obviously, while we enjoy the installs and the resource videos, the best part without a doubt is being able to travel the country, attend events, and meet tons of like-minded enthusiasts. We've got Cheese Whiz out here. It's gonna be a long trip, but definitely a good trip.
I always make sure to tell people, I don't care what your car looks like. I want to hear your story.
Did I make friends along the way, or I think I made family?
The whole thing, front to back, I mean, it definitely tells a story.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad.
Exactly.
Are you telling me you painted this?
I did. Yes.
I did not know that I knew the car. I assumed this was some high-end professional did this for you.
I really appreciate that.
Unfortunately, we lost him in a car accident in September of 2020. So when that happened, I said, well, we got to finish it.
It came to the day that the car show was, and he couldn't make it. He started to get really sick. So I said, we're not gonna do this anymore. You're gonna have a car show. People that didn't even know my grandfather, and we actually rolled up into his driveway and into his yard, and we had a car show for him.
Wow.
The automobile hobby it's a life. And it's been my life. And at 64, I don't plan on changing it. It's friends, but more family. CJ's is a family.
Installing the Roush Ford Performance Supercharger in my 2015 was definitely one of the biggest video projects we ever took on. I mean, nobody had done anything even close to that scale on YouTube. It was a huge undertaking, but also a huge success for the entire team. Surprisingly, the convertible top video was one that I'm actually extremely proud of because I had absolutely no clue how to install a convertible top. I had never done one before, and I kind of figured it out as we went, and now it's become the go-to video for people trying to install a convertible top on any car. Probably the most fun I ever had at work was the day that Jonathan Nairn came up and taught me how to drift smoke show. I'd actually never done anything like that before in my life, and having watched him, I thought it would be fun to do. He was a great teacher, and we had an absolute blast that day.
There you go. Yep, there you go. Throttle. More throttle. All right.
We always try to do something fun for April Fools, and the one year, you guys thought we were actually going out of business, but one of the most fun ones we did was the Mach-E installs because so many people actually believed that we added a cold air intake and exhaust to an electric SUV. The Ford Performance Start button was always fun because Ford showcased that part, and if you open up the manual to install it, it was like 45 pages of taking the entire center console apart. Took it upon myself one day to figure out a way to do it, and a few seconds later I swapped it out, and many owners followed suit and made for a very easy install. One of my favorite social videos was definitely getting to meet the owner of the Bullet, Sean, and just being able to sit down and talk to him about that car. I mean, I love the story, I love the Bullet. With the car coming out to the public for the first time in so many years, being able to actually meet the owner in Washington, D.C. and talk about the car was just amazing to do. Might be surprising that one of my favorite videos on a Mustang channel was a Focus ST, but building this Focus ST for Ford SEMA display was a huge opportunity for myself and for CJ Pony Parts. Now, we had built a car before for SEMA, but this was for the Ford display, which was a huge deal, and it led to us building 3 other Fords in the future, which not many companies can say they did. Now, if you know me personally, obviously you know that Project Crimpstang is gonna make this list. This build will always be one of my favorites, and there's so many reasons for it. The car was a very important part of my life. It was a part of my friend's life, and being able to take that car, build a factory stock race car, and actually go compete with it was just a huge thing in my life. That car has actually now been built as a road race car, which is still awesome to see out on the track. But again, building Project Crimpstang was a huge thing for me, and seeing my friends cheer me on at the track for the first time is something that'll sit with me for the rest of my life. Next on my list has to be Project 5030. Now, myself and Josh from Product Development were flying home from SEMA, and we're both like, you know what? We could build a SEMA car. How hard can it be? Well, we found out, but sure enough, we finished it, we built it, and we took Project 5030 to the SEMA show where we displayed it in TMI's booth, and again, that led to many other SEMA builds down the road. Last on my list, and definitely not least, was the Hot Wing video. Now, not many people actually saw this video. It didn't do that well, but if you want to see the 100% real me on camera, you definitely want to watch that because the heat and the pain was absolutely real, but it was for a good cause, it was with great friends, and it was a lot of fun.
So as the world is becoming more electric, where do you see the future?
Oh my God, dude, holy I'm not gonna live to see the future.
No, I had absolutely no idea that the CJ Pony Parts channel was going to take off as much as it did. I mean, we had goals, we had expectations. Within the first year, we hit 1 million views, and I was like, wow. So, Bill and I really just kind of, we got on the train, we started, let's do more, and I knew that the channel could grow beyond just a few instructional videos.
So it's tough to think about the future of the channel because I never thought we'd get to where we are now. I mean, we built our reputation on the install videos and we still love doing them, but I think the more like car community resource style stuff is definitely the future of the channel. Educating people on their cars, how to work on them, what to do with them, and then being involved in that community, whether it's a cross-country cruise or, going to a Fox Body show or doing whatever. It's like, getting out there, being part of that community and bringing that out so everybody can see it. I think that's honestly where the channel goes. I see more community, more resource, more stuff like that. Obviously, we're gonna keep the install videos coming, especially with the S650 right around the corner, but I think that resource community style is kind of where the future of the channel is gonna be.
The installation should take no more than half an hour, even with basic hand tools, so you'll be back on the road in no time.
So again, it's hard to believe it's been 10 years since the first time I said you'll be back on the road in no time. And again, it wouldn't be possible without you guys who are watching. I mean, our customers, many of who become friends, are what make it worth what we're doing here. And nothing is better than going to a show, going to an event, someone that comes up to me, shakes my hand and says, you know what? I watched your video, I installed it myself, and thanks me. That's why we do it, and that's why we're gonna keep on doing it.
I'm watching the light, I'm like, I guess we should start talking. Is he trying to... I'm not sure.
Today, we're going to install a set on our 2011 street car.